What's going on? What's going on? Brutus here, bringing you an attack strategy video where we're going to specifically talk about the first phase of a LaLo attack, your kill squad, whether you bring a cold blood, meaning one golem, when to do a suicide royal, when to bring shattered or two golems, when to do a walk. So let's. I don't want the video to be too long. Let's start right away. Who am I going to start with? So we're going to start with Godsbroski. Let's talk about walks. Rather than drawing this up, I'm just gonna, for the sake of time, I'm just gonna push play and talk through things that you look for on a base, and you can see them being accomplished here. So with Godsbroski, he's doing a walk. A walk versus shattered go hand in hand. As far as troop space, four healers is 56 troop space, two golems is 60. So basically, what are you going to get with your walk? Same thing with what are you going to get with two golems? The rule of thumb is usually you should get two air defenses, the CC and the queen, if you're going to do a shattered. So it's almost the same principle with the walk. There's a slight difference with them, though. You always want to make sure that you get, and with these two attack strategies in mind, especially also a cold blood, you want to try to get the air defense and queen. But because you have a skeleton spell nowadays, and the queen pop, shout out to Cast and Blast for Cock, you can do a queen pop now and leave the queen. Or you can bring a Larry spell and do a Larry LaLo and basically take care of the queen with the Larry spell in the middle rather than the end of the raid. So with this one, we're watching Godsbroski do a walk. Instead of doing two air defenses, he is getting a few other extra highly important defenses for LaLo. He's getting a sweeper, an air defense, the CC, some wizard towers, and possibly an X-bow and a second air defense really late in the game, and that's what that jump is with the queen charge coming into here. So the return on investment that he gets for his kill squad of a walk is he gets about 5 to 6 important defenses, the CC and two air defenses and two sweepers. Why does that? That was the goal at least, and then queen dies right here, and it turns into a super Larry walk on the bottom. We'll zoom in a little bit. He uses the Larry spell to take care of the queen in the middle of the raid. So the first takeaway is, what is your kill squad going to get? If your walk is only going to get trash or 1 or 2 point defenses and the queen, you probably want to rethink what you're doing. So the first question you ask yourself is, what value will my kill squad get for me? This one, because he got so many crucial defenses that were important for the LaLo to work, it was worth to do a walk and not a cold blood. Cold blood would not have gotten nearly as far down the base. Would a shattered get all the way down there? Possibly would have gotten all the way down there. But the reason why you didn't want to use a shattered in this one is your tanks will go all the way towards the core, but your wizards and your kill squad behind them get stuck behind trash, like the town hall, the CC, the storages. So your golems tank for nothing. Your golems are tanking for trash. You don't want that. So with this one, again, we're going to do looking at a walk. Why not do a shattered? You could do a shattered on the left side here and take care of these mortars or something like that, and then jump into this compartment where this archer tower is because the queen comes over, and then you get 2 air defenses, the queen, the CC. But it's not very fluent or smooth. There's too much that could go wrong. Your golems could go left when you want them to go right. And that's pretty much where you would stop, right, is at that spot. So zooming in here, CC kill coming out, queen charge here, aiming for queen is done, CC is done. Gonna get X-bows, sweepers, which impact the start of the LaLo, air defense, and possibly more. And you'll see what happens here because he's gonna gut out the entire right side, which did include trash. But towards the middle of the raid, the queen doesn't die, and she continues to be effective for the raid, and that's the separation of where the shattered versus queen walk comes into play. A shattered, once your time is done, it's done. On a walk, there's a chance you can keep going for the entire freaking raid. So for this one, that's one of those scenarios where a walk outplays a shattered, because you could still get the same amount of defenses using a shattered, except it's not as smooth, it's harder, and your golems are still going to die eventually. On a walk here, his queen doesn't die, shoots through some walls, continues to clean up some high hit point storages, which basically is just time that he doesn't have to fight. And it also got some bows and sweepers, which are pivotal defenses against a LaLo. At the very end here, you can see he ran out of loons, but because his queen is still up on that charge, it doesn't matter. He's going to be able to walk all the way over here. And this only adds to the value of why a walk sometimes, depending on the base, outplays a shattered, thinking specifically only about troop space, 60 versus 56. Go to ×2, because that's nothing but cleanup. All right, so we'll back out of here. Let's look at someone that is not a walk. Let's look at a cold blood. And then one more cold blood and we'll call it a video. Can you do a suicide royal? Absolutely. Queen is hanging out here. CC lines like that. If you tried to put a loon here, it would stop it because of that queen pop, because of that Tesla pop. So suicide royal doesn't really help all that much, just because that lure of the CC seems a bit hard. It's just higher risk to get. So using a cold blood, he's going to get the entire left side, 3-point defenses for air, wizard tower, CC, queen, and air defense, with the chance to get also a bow. Really nice job on this. Here we were talking about why not do a walk on this and have her keep walking around the base. Well, because then it'll take away from one of your 4 hounds. And looking at what's remaining on this base, he has so much rage and haste that he can fight straight into the teeth of a sweeper, and it doesn't matter. He also makes a decision to let some loons die, which are going to go to the left here, because you want to take care of your main balloon parade, your main pack of loons on the bottom here. So he lets that loon die up top. And continues to focus on the way of his attack flow. But if you imagine if he didn't have that 4th hound, and so we're looking at shattered, right? 2 golems. He does not have enough gusto left to overwhelm the remaining defenses on a base, if he would have brought in a shattered approach versus cold blood. Really nice job. We'll go to ×2 on this. And then for the last one, we'll do a cold blood as well, and then we'll call it a video. Nice job, Roswell. Man is man's a sick air attacker. Love watching his air attacks. Okay, let's get out of here. And then for the last one, I think it was 25, Mr. Grundy. Oh, I was way down. 39. Cold blood. CC really close, air defense really close, Queen's lines right there, sweepers like this. So you can see where my goal is to get this air defense with just 1 golem. No need for a walk, really, because I'm bringing 18 loons. I can swarm whatever's left. You'll see what's going on here. So with a few point defense coming at my golem. Why? And another thing I look at is I check how much DPS the point defense can do on 1 golem, and how long is the golem going to be under multiple point defenses at once. That's one thing I consider when I'm deciding if I need to go shattered or cold blood. Keep in mind that once your golem busts, it turns into golemites. So I think a lot of people forget that you shouldn't freak out when your golem breaks, because you still got a few more seconds left to take care of that. But I knew just 1 golem would account for that entire top section, and the rest of the LaLo pathing worked for me. So why I didn't decide to go for a walk? Because it would cut into my tankage for the LaLo portion. I didn't see a need to sub 1 of my 3 hounds for a shattered approach, or 6 of my 18 loons I didn't see that being needed. As you can see right here, my tanks are done, but I have so many loons up at the end, and this was a fresh hit coming into a surprise Tesla farm, but it didn't matter because, of course, there's the automatic haste, but I have so many loons up at the end that I just take it down. If I didn't have 6 loons and I decided to bring a walk or bring a second golem, I maybe don't bring down this base. And that's a good illustration, in my opinion, of what I was trying to get at. So it's a give and take about the base. Every base is different. You got to exploit its weaknesses, that what it gives to you. And the best advice I can give you is that if you're looking at a base trying to decide what kill squad to bring and the plan doesn't sit well with you, don't do it. That's the best advice ever. You've been doing the attacks for so long, you already know, you got a feel for if that's going to work out or not with that foresight that you've built. So when in doubt, start a new kill squad. Trust your instincts. Hopefully those talking points about walk versus cold blood versus suicide royal were helpful for you. Once again, it's Brutus reminding you, you got to be better than a double, and I will check you next time.